So yeah guys, this is Amandeep Singh. So without wasting our time, so let us start the question of the day. So the first question is determine, yes, the first question is determine the interval, yes, determine the interval of the convergence of the series, uh, which is summation of n approaches from 1 to infinity minus 1 to the power n minus 1 x minus 1 to the power n divided by n. Okay, we have to find we have to determine the interval of convergence. Okay, we have to determine the interval of the convergence. So for finding the interval of the convergence, we have to find the radius of the convergence. So result to be noted. So yes, the first result is radius of convergence. So what is the radius of convergence? Suppose let A and be a sequence, A and B an sequence such that summation of A n, it is defined as a series. Okay, then the radius of convergence, the radius of convergence is limit n approaches to infinity A n divided by A n plus 1 is mod, and it is either equal to limit n approaches to infinity 1 upon a n to the power 1 upon n to the mod. Okay, it is written as r. Means radius of convergence is equal to limit n approaches to infinity a n upon a n plus 1, limit n approaches to infinity 1 upon a n to the power 1 upon n. A n is either alternating series, or I can say that positive or negative terms, result will be same. Okay, so this is my first result, and the second result is for p test. So what is p test? So p tests are used for the convergence of series. For example, let n approaches to 1 to infinity a n be my series, and I can write it as uh, summation of n approaches to infinity 1 upon np. Clearly this term is for positive sequence. Okay, clearly my an sequence is a positive sequence, is positive, or yeah, properly negative sequence. You should be noted it either it I can say that it is not alternating. Okay, so then this series is said to be convergent if p is greater than 1, and divergent if p is less than equal to 1. Okay, so now the third result for alternating series, which is Leibniz result. Let an is my alternating sequence, and it is represented as summation of n approaches to infinity an, or I can written it as n is equal to 1 to infinity. Yes, it is minus 1 to the power n, or it is something like 1 upon n raised to power p. Okay, so it is basically the example. So what is the Leibniz result? Let an is alternating sequence, and such that this is written as summation n approaches to infinity of an. Then this particular series of alternating sequence are said to be convergent if limit n approaches to infinity of an is equal to 0. If when we put limit n approaches to infinity of an, then if it is 0, then I can say that my this alternating sequence is convergent according to Leibniz result. Okay, definitely it is monotonically decreasing. Okay, monotonically decreasing are also used in definition. Definitely this sequence are monotonically decreasing if this point is 0. Okay, if limit is 0, definitely it is monotonically decreasing. Now we have to find the radius of convergence first. So my summation is minus 1 to the power n minus 1. So yes, my summation is minus 1 to the power n minus 1 x minus 1 to the power n upon n. So yes, what is my an? My an is equal to minus 1 to the power n minus 1 upon n. Now how can we find the radius of convergence? So it is equal to limit n approaches to infinity mod of an plus 1. Okay, so I can written it as this is the value of an. Now what is the value of an plus 1? It is equal to minus 1 to the power n, because n plus 1 minus 1 and plus 1 are cancelled. So it is my result. So when we apply here, then it is equal to minus n minus 1 upon n, and in upon this term are included. Okay, and mod of this term. So limit n approaches to infinity here. So clearly this term are cancelled. So minus 1 to the power minus 1 are left. So because there are no difference, or I can say that कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता minus 1 से, because it is mod function. So therefore it is n plus 1 divided by n. Okay, so when I solve it, so it is plus 1 upon n, apply limit n approaches to infinity. So I can say that my radius of convergence is equal to 1. So okay, my radius of convergence is equal to 1. So now how can I solve the further? Okay, it is my radius of convergence. How can I find the interval? Okay, so you should note that this term for finding the interval, this term should less than equal to radius of convergence. Okay, so I can if I want to find radius of convergence of this particular sequence pose n approaches to infinity to it is an, it is x raised to power n. So this is equal to x mod of x is less than r. Okay, so where r is my radius of convergence. Now what about this sequence? Here x is x minus 1, so therefore I can write it as is less than r. So what is my r? It is 1. So x minus 1 is less than 1. Okay, so now how can I break it? Minus 1 to the power x minus 1 1. Okay, so it is 0 of x of 2. That is, I can say that my interval are lie between open 0 to open interval 2, but this is not my final answer, because I have to check is it convergent at a boundary point also. I want to check is it convergent at boundary point also. So therefore for this I want to put this boundary point in a particular series, which is my minus 1 to the power n x minus 1 to the power n divided by, I can say that it is n. Okay, so when we put x is equal to 0, then this term is summation of minus 1 to the power n, here n minus 1 or n, here n minus 1. Okay, sorry, here n minus 1. So n minus 1, here there is minus 1 to the power n, because I put x is equal to 0 now. Then this is equal to summation of minus 1 to the power 2n and minus 1 to the power minus 1 are separate upon n. This term will be positive because even power. So this term will be negative. So minus 1, we take minus 1 as a common. So it is 1 upon n. So clearly, if we apply p test here, then p is equal to 1. So clearly it is divergent. So clearly it is divergent. Means I can say that 0 will not included in my this interval, because 0 is at x is equal to 0. My series is not convergent. Okay, so they are asking me for convergent. Okay, convergent interval. So when I put x is equal to 2, when I put x is equal to 2, so then this sequence will be, this particular sequence will be summation of n approaches to 1 to infinity minus 1 to the power n minus 1. So when I put x is equal to 2, so it is 2 minus 1 means 1 to the power n upon n. So it is equal to summation of n approaches to 1 to infinity minus 1 to the power n minus 1 upon n. Now clearly it is alternating sequence. Okay, so my for alternating sequence my an is equal to minus 1 and minus 1 upon n. Okay, when we apply limit n approaches to infinity here, so clearly denominator is n, in numerator only bounded term are included. Okay, so therefore my result is 0. So therefore by Leibniz test this result will be convergent. Okay, this thing will be convergent. So therefore I can say that 2 are also included in my boundary point. So therefore total result will be open from 0 interval and close from 2 interval. This is my interval for convergence. Okay, so it is our first question. So now for second one, so yes, this is my second question, which is asked from, which is taken from linear algebra. So the question is, yes, the question is which of the following matrices are non-singular? Okay, which of the following matrices are non-singular? Option A is I plus A, where A is not equal to 0, is skew-symmetric matrices n cross n, where n is greater than or equal to 2. Every skew-symmetric matrix is non-zero real 5 cross 5 matrices. Every skew-symmetric matrix is non-zero real 2 cross 2 matrices. Means in B and C option they are saying कि for 5 cross 5 non-zero skew-symmetric matrix, every non-zero skew-symmetric matrices are non-singular, or similarly they are saying about 2 cross 2. Okay, so for this thing result are to be uses. So the first result is for non-singular matrices. What is non-singular matrices? If A is a square matrices, first result, if A is a square matrices of n cross n order, then A is said to be, then matrices A of n cross n order is said to be non-singular if its determinant is not equal to 0. If its determinant is not equal to 0. Okay, the second one result for, yes, the second one result for skew-symmetric matrices. So what is skew-symmetric matrices? Yes, wait. Yes, what is skew-symmetric matrices? A matrix is a square matrices, a square matrices of n cross n order So yes, a square matrices of n cross n order is said to be skew symmetric. If we're taking transpose of these matrices, then it will be equal to minus a. Okay, you know very well about transpose. So if taking transpose of these matrices, then result will be minus a. Third result, all diagonal element of skew symmetric matrices are always zero. Okay, so the fourth one result is determinant of odd order skew symmetric matrices are 0. Okay, are 0. So these four results are used to solve this type of question. So the clearly when we talk about B point, so clearly every skew symmetric matrices, they are saying every skew symmetric non-zero matrices are non-singular. Okay, so clearly this is not singular. So clearly this is singular because determinant is 0 according to fourth result. Okay, we can also take an example. If you do not learn this result, or if you do not remind this result, so I can take this type of example like 1 to -1, otherwise all terms are 0. Clearly that of this term is 0 and this is my skew symmetric matrix of 5 cross 5 order. So I can say that this option is wrong, option number B. So what about C? So a skew symmetric matrices, non-zero real matrices 2 cross 2 order is non-singular. They are saying every skew symmetric non-zero real 2 cross 2 matrices are non-singular. So if we want to make the 2 cross 2 skew symmetric matrices, then definitely it will be like 0 B minus B or 0. Okay, because if we're taking transpose of this type of matrices, it will be 0 minus B, B0, and it is equal to minus of A. Okay, so otherwise the matrices are non-zero. Only this type of skew symmetric matrices are possible in 2 cross 2 non-zero skew symmetric matrices. Okay, so clearly it is non-singular. If B and B are non-zero, clearly it is non-singular. That of A is non-singular, na? So definitely C is true. Now what about option A? So they are saying A is non-zero skew symmetric matrices of real order n cross n, where n is greater than 2, any order. Okay, so I plus A is non-singular matrices. They are saying I plus A, where A plus, they are saying about I plus A, okay, where A is not equal to 0 is a skew symmetric matrices and cross n is greater than equal to 2. They are saying you can take any skew symmetric matrices of any order, any non-zero skew symmetric matrices of any order, then my I plus A, I means identity plus A is always non-singular. Okay, so let us check it. For discussing the let I take 3 cross 3 matrices. Okay, for convenient. Okay, you can take any. So clearly it is my A. Clearly it is all diagonal element are 0 na. We have discussed in third result the all diagonal elements of a skew symmetric matrices are 0. Clearly it is 0. Now when we talk about this element, it is like any, we can put any element here like 1 1 1 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1. Clearly it is skew symmetric matrices. Okay, you can put any journal element also, arbitrary element also. Okay, so when I adding it by 1 means identity matrices, so the total matrices will be 1 1 1 B B B minus B minus B minus B. Then if you take this, if you taking that of these matrices, then definitely that will be non-zero. Okay, so I can take 1 of 1 plus B square minus B plus B square, it is equal to B square plus B. So then it is equal to 1 plus B square minus B cube plus B cube plus B square. Clearly this term is cancelled and my result is 1 plus 3B square, and B is definitely non-zero because it is my non-zero skew symmetric matrices. Okay, so therefore I can say that this result will always be true. Okay, so my A and C option is true. So I hope you understand these questions. Okay, so if you like my videos, then please subscribe my YouTube channel. Okay, so thank you.